got into the martial arts at a very young age, watching all Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan movies, getting influenced by them, and doing it in my own time. Like, when I grew up in Toronto, in a pretty rough neighborhood in Driftwood, Jane and Finch, and there wasn't many things to do in the neighborhood, and we were a new immigrant, so my mom couldn't really afford us in many programs. So that was what I was doing in my backyard, just picking up boxes, those balikbayan boxes, and that was my punching bag. I would pretend, make believe, and do all the things that I was learning or I was observing in movies, and just practicing on those boxes. I got to rewind a little bit on that story, on what was the connection between, I guess, my pastoral ministry calling, and the martial arts, because that's definitely something that's happening in Limitless. Actually, I stopped the training when I was around grade 9 or 10, got more into the dance scene, the hip hop, break dancing, and that took on about 7 or 10 years. And it was something I really liked. But then I got involved with a community center. Actually, they were a community center that was governed and ran by a church. They were called the Gateway Center, and what they did was they kind of offered different opportunities for young guys like me to really channel some of the giftings that we had, and see if it was something that we could, one, contribute back to the community, but two, make it something that almost like a career opportunity. The people in Gateway, and at the time, the executive director, Julius Tiangson, offered me an opportunity to run my own program. At the time, it was just a youth program. It was an outreach for local high school students that were seeking volunteer work in our community center. But then one thing left to another, it ended up becoming a full career path for myself. And really, where the ministry aspect or the spiritual thing became a connection was really in that community center in Gateway. I had this pretty cathartic experience where I was pretty lost, so to speak. In fact, I was struggling with a reckless lifestyle, even substance abuse at the time, and jumping from one issue to another. And I had this really radical experience with God. This kind of fell in my lap all in that same season. And I kind of looked at that kind of chapter in my life as a sign that this was kind of a bit of a calling for me. So not only was I able to excel in both my own martial arts training and training others, I found a lot of purpose in it, and using it for giving glory to God, sharing the faith of Jesus. Or some may think or wonder, is this a church or is this a religious gym? 100% not. In fact, we're quite multi-ethnic, multi-religious community here. It's a very diverse community here. Yet I still get the opportunity and the privilege to be able to be honest and expressive about the faith that I have. I think it's been something that has blessed this place. It's not just kind of like a community center. It's not just like this, I hate to say the word, but like a bootleg program where we're actually building some real athletes. But at the same time, we're actually building people, building their characters, and even having the opportunity to share, spirituality from a Christian perspective. Our model here is the idea that if we could build people from the inside, like their character, which translates into their work ethics and everything that's kind of connected to that, we're able to build strong martial artists, strong athletes. That's kind of the model that we take on here. And that's actually very personal, how I came to this whole journey where I'm at. Like I said, I was going through a very reckless season of my life, perhaps because of the many issues, like single mother, rough neighborhood, new immigrants in Canada, bad influence, and the whole list. All those things brought like such difficulties in my adolescence and young adulthood. And where did I find, overcoming and all of that? Yeah, my response is faith. It was this radical trans experience in almost physically, cognitively, emotionally feeling as though God was speaking to me. And how is that related to Limitless? Well, it was in the context of coming to discover martial arts as something that is not only beneficial for me, but actually instrumental. I'm able to use it on a practical level to encourage and strengthen young people, but on a spiritual level, share the gospel of Jesus. Our approach to martial arts, and this is definitely a new chapter in our journey, is a multi-discipline approach. And I got to give this credit to Muzamo from Wacko and that whole institution, that whole industry where it's a multi-discipline approach to combat arts. And I'm sure it goes beyond Wacko, because I know the MMA also probably follows these views and principles. But definitely the influence came from my association with them. But as of recently, the last few years, we've been associated with both Muay Thai gyms and kickboxing gyms, and that kind of brought in this new, I guess, feel and direction for our gym, integrating both. And the vision is that it's going to complement one another, and that when we participate in either traditional martial arts competition and combat art tournaments and fight cards, that they would complement and help one another. I always take the opportunity anytime I'm in front of a camera to express that I hope my story is an encouragement for anyone who ever hears, particularly the aspect of brokenness to wholeness and no sense of direction to a strong sense of purpose. I always want to use that. It's not to propagate religion on any level, but really hoping that it would be an encouragement to someone who is hearing that may need to hear that message. So we have both Instagram and Facebook social media platforms. Limitless Martial Arts on Instagram and on both. Yeah, so if anyone is looking to get more information on who we are and even see some of our videos, we also have a YouTube channel, pardon me. I love making videos, or I like producing them. I can't do the video taking. Michael's the guy for that. But we do have those platforms if you guys want to check us out.